Radio Edit by Dark Cyan. Girls, I know you're excited, but I still need you to keep it down. This is a library. Oh, but Miss Cheerilee, it's important. Then it can be important somewhere else, or quietly. I glanced up from my book, Statistical Physics of Fields, it's a bit basic but well written, to see Sweetie Belle, Applebloom and Scootaloo glumly gathering their things. The library, as usual, was otherwise empty. I've never understood why. It's a much brighter, more welcoming place than Crystal Prep's ever was. They weren't bothering me, I offered, and the girls' faces lit up. Cheerilee's frown softened slightly, but she still shook her head. Rules are rules. The girls appeared next to me so swiftly that I was almost tempted to check for equestrian magic. Wait, you're Twilight! Maybe you can help us. I could probably spare another couple of minutes. Help you with what? So, our teacher was asking for volunteers to host our end of semester class party. And we want to have the most awesome party ever. And you threw that amazing party during the fall formal right before sunset. Oh, Sweetie Belle rubbed her side and glared at Applebloom. I know, she's nice now, but you'll help us, right? I'm not... I could hear the tension in my voice and stopped, smiled, tried again. I'm afraid you have the wrong Twilight. I bet Pinky helped, though. Though, why don't you ask her? That's a great idea, Scootaloo cheered. Shh! Thanks, Twilight, the three of them stage whispered, casting wary glances back towards Cheerilee and disappeared out the door. It's not a big deal, I told myself as I slung my bag over my shoulder. It's an honest mistake. If only I could make myself believe it. I slipped into the practice room 2 minutes late. Rarity had cornered Sunset and Fluttershy with a measuring tape. Applejack was tuning her bass, Pinkie Pie was stringing small lights around her bass drum, and Rainbow Dash... A strong breeze whooshed past. Hi girls, sorry I'm late. I got caught up in soccer practice. Oh, but I scored an awesome goal. You should have seen it. Anyway, are we ready to go now? We're going to rock this song so hard Canterlot U won't even know what hit them. Logically, being asked to record one of our songs at the local university radio shouldn't have been a big deal compared to performing literal magic. But we were all excited. It made the band feel more real somehow. Wow, calm down, Applejack said, giving her bass a final assessing strum. We gotta make sure our instruments sound their best too. Yeah! Pinkie hit her kick pedal enthusiastically, making the newly strung lights wobble and fall. She peered around, frowned briefly, and taped them back up. I'm all ready to go! Pinkie, you know there won't be a video, right? Fluttershy asked. She glanced towards Rarity. So it doesn't actually matter what our instruments or we look like. On that topic, I wanted to say... Nonsense, Fluttershy. How can you perform your best if you don't look your best? What she said, Pinkie grinned. Maybe I should string lights on my guitar, Rainbow said contemplatively. You sure you want the sound of you tripping over the wires and falling to end up in our recording, Sugar Cube? Hey, I would not trip. Actually, I interrupted loudly. Everyone turned to look at me, Sunset raising an intrigued eyebrow and putting her phone away. I've been studying best practices for making radio edits, and with the right software, I think we could edit that out pretty easily. I took a deep breath and tried to refocus on what I'd originally meant to say. Also, a lot of bands apparently have someone running an audio mixer to help adjust the sound balance on the fly, and I was thinking that we might want to start using one of those. A sound system? Like Vinyl Scratch's car? Rainbow asked. Her car? You know, the one from the Battle of the Bands, with the giant speakers and the turntable and the flashing lights and... Twilight wasn't here for that, Sunset interrupted. Remember? Oh, right, yeah. Rainbow rubbed the back of her neck. My bad. I forgot since Twilight was there, I felt certain. The one who I'd only met once, and who even in that short time had been so friendly and kind that it felt wrong to resent the long shadow she cast. It's fine, I said, and smiled and tried to mean it. If vinyl had a DJ turntable and not a, how to describe it, board with a lot of switches and sliders that your instrument's plugged into, then it was probably something different. Oh, too bad, that thing was awesome! Rainbow considered for a moment, then nodded firmly. Anyway, if this, she riffed a complex chord progression on her guitar, can wreck the dazzlings, it can totally wow people on the radio, no mixer required. She grinned at me. Right? I wasn't there for that, I wanted to say, or how do you know it won't make a difference without even trying? Or to share the 12-step plan I'd carefully figured out about where to borrow the equipment from and where to start. I even had charts. But no one else was saying anything, so they probably just agreed with Rainbow, and it's not like it was that big of a deal. She was probably right. We'd blasted plenty of rogue equestrian magic with rainbow friendship lasers. Surely we could make a good impression on a college with a competitive enough admissions process that most people went to community college first and transferred in later. Right, I said, and tried to ignore the pit in my stomach. Let's get this rehearsal started. Our normal practice room was too small and the auditorium too large, Fluttershy's vocals too quiet half the time, and Pinky's drums too loud the other half, and Rainbow had in fact tripped over the string of light she wrapped around her guitar, somehow. We'd also discovered that when Rainbow ponied up that the transformation itself made a recordable noise. All fixable, of course, but it wasn't going to push when everyone was getting more tired and stressed with each take. Finally, sorry Sugarcube, but I gotta bail, Applejack said, looking pointedly towards the slowly deepening orange-red of the sky outside. Granny'll give me a talking to if I'm not home in time to help fix dinner. Rainbow huffed. Let's just do one more take. We've almost got this. I can feel it. Fluttershy toyed with her tambourine, staring down at it instead of looking at Rainbow. It's about time for me to leave too, she said. I promised I'd help settle the animals at the shelter for the night. I think we're all ready for a break, Sunset said, stretching her back until it popped audibly and coming over to put her microphone away. T-Rex Awakening won't play itself after all. And we have math homework due Friday. Sunset grinned at me. That's what Thursday's study session is for. Anyway, pick things back up tomorrow? I guess... Rainbow slumped. We always sound so great when it matters. Why is it so hard to get one recording that sounds right? She perked up. Maybe if we... No, Sunset interrupted her. No evil equestrian artifacts. Rainbow opened her mouth. Not even a small one? Oh... It hurt seeing Rainbow looking so down. We've gathered a lot of useful data points on what doesn't work today, I said, even if many of them would be fixable if only... No, that wasn't important right now. I'm sure tomorrow will go better. Yeah, it will, Rainbow grinned. Thanks, Try. Tomorrow did not go better. Day 3 and 2 takes in, the strap on Rarity's keytar broke. I'm going to get some air, I told Fluttershy quietly, Rarity and Rainbow's voices providing a loud counterpoint in the background. Oh, come on! You could just hold it. Oh, let them know, Fluttershy said. Absolutely not. It completely ruins the ergonomics. In a few minutes. We exchanged rueful smiles, then I was out the double doors and free. Which was a terrible thing to think about my friends, I thought, as my feet led me to a stone bench in the gardens, not far outside Wallflower's inner sanctum. Wallflower emerged herself not long after, and we exchanged friendly waves as she left. I tilted my head back and sighed, staring up at the wispy cirrus formation slowly drifting across the deep blue sky. I should go back inside. It wasn't like sitting out here would change anything. I just needed to stop being so sensitive. To stop wondering if maybe Princess Twilight would have fixed things already. Penny for your thoughts? My head snapped upright just in time to see Sunset flip said penny directly at me. Several seconds of frantic juggling later, I caught it with my magic just inches above the ground. Don't do that! She grinned and claimed the other end of the bench. Nice catch! The grin fell away. Seriously though, what's up? It's nothing, I said. Is it time to get started again? I'm sure Rarity's strap looks better than new now. One cannot rush genius, Sunset said in fond mimicry, though I wouldn't be surprised if she's working slower than usual to give the rest of us a break. She folded her arms and just looked at me, long and hard enough to make me squirm. Also, it's clearly not nothing. I stared at a particularly large, broad-leafed fern nearby instead. What sort of fertilizer had Wallflower used? It's stupid. Why don't you let me be the judge of that? Because I already know what you'll say, I muttered. It's not a big deal. Compromise is an important part of friendship. Stop being so sensitive. I know already. I wouldn't say any of those things, actually. Sunset stuck her hand in front of my face and wiggled her fingers. Empathy magic, remember? When it goes haywire, I get a whole head full of things other people think everyone else will think aren't a big deal. Try me. I remembered. I'd been the first one she'd used it on after all. Part of me wanted her to use it on me now, so that I didn't have to say anything aloud. I've been doing a lot of research about how to do radio edits, because I want this to go right for all of you. And the videos I found on audio mixing were really interesting, and I'm pretty sure if I asked Shining, I could borrow some of Crystal Prep's equipment to try out. And I think it could solve so many of the problems we're running into. Like Fluttershy has always been quieter than the rest of us, we just don't notice it when we're doing all the magic. If we adjusted the gain on her mic, she wouldn't have to stress about singing louder. But none of you seemed interested, and I'm not going to force you. What sort of friend would I be if I did that? Oh, is this about Tuesday? Sunset blinked. I thought you were talking about, I don't know, adding sound effects? That all sounds useful. You should have explained. I tried, but no one ever wants to sit through my lectures when grades aren't on the line. How was I supposed to know this would be any different? I'm not cool and confident like you and the other Twilight. I grasped for the right word and failed. Just me. Sunset snorted. Cool? Twilight, You've made more friends here after half a semester than I did in 3.5 years. That can't possibly be true. Everyone knows you. Well, yeah, because I spent 3 years setting them at each other's throats, then topped it all off with mind controlling them into becoming my army. Real friendship material, that. That's not... Oh, sure, most people have forgiven me, or at least willing to exchange pleasantries in the hallway and pretend, but... She glanced towards the inner gardens. Wallflower is far from the only person who hasn't forgotten. A deliberate shrug. Nor should they have to. I did all those things, even if I can barely remember what drove me to do it anymore. The consequences are mine to bear. She stared down at her hands for a moment and said, almost too quietly for me to hear, it's probably the greatest gift she could have given me. That clarity. I'm glad, I said, almost as quietly. Hesitated. You must miss her a lot. Sunset shrugged. We still chat from time to time, but her life's really busy and honestly, so is mine. Besides, she grinned at me. We have you now. No, not here too. Not Sunset, the girl who'd reached out to me, who'd seen me when I couldn't even see myself. I was 5 feet away before I consciously noticed emotion on a course to anywhere but here. What? Twilight? What's... Motioning my peripheral vision, I ducked out of range of Sunset's outstretched hand and whirled, and a choked voice I barely recognized as my own said, I am not her! I'm not her! I'm never going to be her! I barely even know how to be myself, much less someone who's far better than I'll ever be. I'm tired of always feeling like I'm trying to measure up to some invisible, impossible standard. I took a deep breath. Sunset was staring at me, and I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. Not as the chill enormity of what I'd administered tried to drag me under. Not when I still had things to say. I'm tired, I repeated quietly. You wanted to know what was wrong earlier? I'm just tired of not knowing what to do, of feeling like I'm failing a secret test no matter what I do. I sighed. Some princess of friendship I am. If there's a manual for it, no one told me. Princess Twilight was joking about writing a book. I could ask her for some signed copies, Sunset suggested wryly. She met my gaze for a long moment, then said, You're right, you're not the princess of friendship, so maybe it's okay if you muddle along like the rest of us. She lifted a hand, paused, let it fall. I was trying to make a joke earlier. It sucked, apparently, but, you know, I don't like you just because you're Twilight, right? Yes, she was the first person to reach out to me, but you were the first person I reached out to. The first time I realized I could use all my past bad decisions for something good, and that thing with the audio equipment, Princess Twilight never would have suggested something like that. I have photographic proof that she didn't even know what a computer was when she first arrived. I must have looked confused because Sunset smiled ruefully. Blackmail material? I probably even still have the folder buried somewhere. Like I said, bad decisions. She shook her head. Anyway, you're my friend because you're you, Twilight. It shouldn't have helped so much to hear that, but it did. I was still trying to figure out how to respond when Sunset stiffened. I just realized, she said slowly, we didn't ever ask you if you wanted to be in the band, did we? We just assumed. Do you? I'll support you if you'd rather not. And I'm sure the others would understand too. I tapped the gem I rarely went anywhere without anymore. Doesn't the magic need all of us? I don't care. We'll find another way to fight rogue equestrian magic if we have to. She hesitated. Is that a no? No! I made myself stop and really think about it. Pretend for the moment that sunset was right and everything would work out. If I stepped away from a mic, I'd always felt like I was holding on behalf of someone else. Made myself think about all the practices I'd miss. The casual conversation while tuning, getting to proofread Fluttershy's songs before anyone else because she said I knew the best rhymes. I want to stay, I said, but I think part of why I got into my audio mixing research is because I wanted to do something that's mine too. Then let's try it, Sunset said. It can't possibly be worse than our current recordings. She nudged me, and if it doesn't work, say something, and we'll try something else. Deal? The sun was shining bright, the depths of the garden of a riot of colour and life, and I felt as light as if I'd been fawned from the cirrus clouds still drifting overhead. I didn't know how everyone else would react, and for the moment I let myself not care. Deal, I tentatively nudged her back. We've got to make our college app shine somehow after all. Don't remind me. I don't even know if I'm going to college yet. What? My post-graduation plan was to take over Equestria, remember? You don't need a degree for that, and there's just so many forms. I skipped several steps away and pointed at her. Okay, you and I are going to sit down and figure out a plan for this. Tomorrow. This is even more important than math. If you insist, Sunset said, grinning, and I couldn't help but grin back. She slung a friendly arm over my shoulder and said, You know, the other Twilight never nagged me about college applications either. For once, the comparison didn't hurt. Well, too bad, because you've got me now. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You sure you want the sound of you tripping over the wires and failing to end up in our recording You sure you want the sound of you tripping over Oh my god, that's worded weirdly. You sure you want the sound of you tripping over the wires and falling to end up in our recording Sugar Cube?
And the echoes in the halls. The laughter's loud, but somehow I still feel so small. Mistaken for another name, another brighter star. I fake a smile, but wonder who I really are. Charts and plans I carry in my hands. All the ways I try to understand. Finding Mystery Pony Fiction channel. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. And Izzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way. Fiction. Bro, hoof, comment, subscribe.